You can enhance a simple lidded box like this with a variety of turning tools that are on the market today. I'll show you how to use a few of them. With a little bit of practice, the possibilities can be endless. So the Wagner texturing tool is a fairly simple tool to use. Lots of variations as to the different designs you can produce with it. On the top of a lidded box like this, the tool does want to traverse a little bit back and forth, especially from the center outwards. So I tend to place my thumb behind it, prevent it from moving. You want to work at a slow RPM, 500 or less works pretty well. Make sure your tool rest is back far enough so it doesn't contact the wheel. Here I'll do a design with the tool rest positioned so that the tool is touching the wood at center. I'm going to start by pressing the left-hand side of the wheel against the wood. Then I'll slightly swing the handle around so that the whole wheel is touching the wood. And I'm pushing into the wood. Then you can take that pattern and highlight it. Just use the corner of a tool like a square nose scraper or skew to mark both edges. And highlight the area where you've applied the texture. Now you can change that pattern slightly by adjusting the height of the tool rest. Now with the same Wagner texturing tool, I've raised the height of the tool rest so the cutter is now touching the wood above center. Now I'll do the same process, touching the wood and pressing into the end of the box. But you can create a very different pattern with a little bit of a radii to it. With the decorating elf, I prepared the lid of the box, sanded it. Here I'm going to work with the cutter on center line. Touch the cutter to the wood and then draw outwards. I can highlight that pattern with a line on each side. That produces fairly straight lines. The spiraling tool looks a bit complicated, but it's actually pretty simple. There's a wheel on the end. These are available in different pitches, which will give you different width spirals. There's a tool rest assembly clamp. It's clamped onto the shaft of the tool, and that allows you to maintain a consistent angle. That's adjustable by loosening these screws and then twisting the tool back and forth. There is a scale on this support, and there's a reference line on the shaft of the tool. That gives you a reference of both left and right of 0. Those numbers do not denote an exact angle. They're simply a reference so that you can produce the same spiral to the left or to the right, or years later. A good starting point on this wheel is about 1 mark. I've lined the line up on the shaft of the tool with 1 mark to the left of the 0. Make sure that that's tight and that the cutter spins freely. Then adjust the tool rest so that with the handle level, the cutter is at center line. And on the lid of a box like this, raise the handle just slightly. Touch it to the wood and give light pressure forward into the wood to cut deeper. To make the spiral wider, you'll traverse to the left and to stop cutting, pull the tool away. You can check your progress.